Hello and welcome to Monday Night Raw. And our first match of tonight is the Giants, consisting of the Big Show and Andre the Giant versus the Shield. And from the Shield we have Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in a table elimination match. Well, that was quite interesting there, but Paul Heyman was saying that he's just recruited Ryback. I suppose that explains why Ryback has been attacking John Cena and Daniel Bryan the past couple of weeks. And straight away the Giants seem to be in control of this match. Yeah, so getting back to the family, it'll be interesting to see if Daniel Bryan and CM Punk accept the challenge of the family, and if they do, if they will call a third member in or not. And here's Roman Reigns, got a Big Show on the table, can they put him through? Nope, took too long and the Big Show took the opportunity, but Roman Reigns did hit him off the top turnbuckle. Yeah, so later on tonight we have a 6-man battle royal for the #1 contenders match for the IC title. And in that match we have RVD, Christian, Rey Mysterio, Bray Wyatt and Cody Rhodes. Oh, the Andre Giant just missed Seth Rollins there from the top turnbuckle. Seth Rollins there with a codebreaker type move. Yeah, so the IC title will be on the line at Night of Champions, so we'll find out tonight who the #1 contender for that match is. And here we are in this match, and the World Heavyweight Champions are the Shield. So this is to see who is the next contender for the tag team title match at Night of Champions. There is still a very long way to go. There's still another 3 weeks to go after this match, so it could still go either way. There's Big Show placing the table on the corner. Can he put Roman Reigns through it? No, he decides to go back and collect it and hit him over the head with it instead. And after that match we have a match with the Brits. And the Brits consist of British Bulldog, Wade Barrett, William Regal, and their version, the APA. And that consists of, obviously, JBL, who is also known as Bradshaw, and Farouk. Yeah, so coming back to the point that Paul Heyman made earlier, it was definitely a bold statement to say that his stable is one of the biggest stables in the WWE, because we have a number of stables within the WWE. Obviously we have the family and we have the corporation, and even although you can't really class the Giants as a stable, they're definitely a two-man wrecking machine, and they would be able to go through most stables. And then we have the Brits. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of stables out there that could challenge the family. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks and couple of months. But getting back to this match, Roman Reigns, he's got a big show on the table, and Seth Rollins in the corner, and there's Roman Reigns coming to the aid of Seth Rollins, and as he does, Seth Rollins manages to get out of the way, and when Roman Reigns goes back to put Big Show through the table, Big Show stands up because he's had too much time. Andre the Giant. I would also like to point out as well that the Giants have a manager in Bobby Heenan, and the reason he's not here tonight is because he's still a little bit unwell, but he will be back for next week's show, so that'll be all good. And the Giant was trying to put a table in the corner, but he couldn't get over Seth Rollins. Yeah, so that was if you've seen SummerSlam last night, that was a big victory by Randy Orton. The opportunist, he managed to capitalise on Ryback's attack on Daniel Bryan to cash in his Money in the Bank match. Here's Seth Rollins. Can he put Andre the Giant through the table? No, Andre the Giant stands up, but Seth Rollins does a flying clothesline. Well, in this match, the Giants definitely have the advantage of with the strength and with the power, but the Shield have the agility factor on their side, so this match could go either way. And obviously Big Show used to be part of the corporation, but he is no longer affiliated with the corporation. He decided to go with Andre the Giant and Bobby the Brain Heenan. So we'll see where Bobby the Brain takes his career. As we know, he is a great manager, and he has taken some of the best talents on to great things. Here's Big Show with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns manages to reverse that. Both tables are set up. Oh, I think Roman Reigns sensed that Seth Rollins might have been through the table, so he moved it. And there's Big Show. He is removing the announce table cover so he can put him through the table. Roman Reigns manages to reverse that. Andre the Giant. He is definitely one of the biggest men that has ever been in the WWE or WWF at the time. He was probably one of the heaviest, and the tallest was of course the Giant Gonzalez, who is now unfortunately passed. There's Big Show. Roman Reigns still fighting on the commentary table. Which one will get the upper hand and put the other one through the table? And there's Big Show. What's he going to do? Oh, he just jumps down. Doesn't even go for a flying move. Andre Giant putting Seth Rollins on the table. Can he get him? And he gets him. He gets him. That's him now. A eliminated. Now it's down to 2v1. The Giants versus Roman Reigns. When the Shield first came into the WWE, they were a force to be reckoned with, but after their defeat to Christian and the Usos, some of that fear has definitely left their opponents, because they know that they're not as invincible, and to lose to, no disrespect, the Usos and Christian, it doesn't look good on their part. Big Show setting up the table. Andre the Giant. They're just playing with Roman Reigns now. Great reversal there by Roman Reigns. Almost puts Big Show through the table. Of course, Dean Ambrose can interfere in this match. Andre the Giant just playing with Roman Reigns there. The Giant's just toying with Roman Reigns as if he was a small toy. Can Big Show put him through the table? Of course, Big Show used to be able to do moonsaults back in his WCW days. And Andre the Giant keeps Roman Reigns on the table, and the Giants get the victory. That was a very convincing victory, in my opinion, for the Giants. It's their first match together, and as you've seen, Big Show won the hardcore title match last night. So since he has been aligned with Bobby the Brain Heenan, his career is definitely on the up. Can the Giants win the Tag Team Championships too? You'll need to stay tuned to find out, guys. And here's our next match. 6-man Battle Royal for the #1 contenders match to the Intercontinental Championship. And in this match we obviously have Bray Wyatt, who came off that big victory last night at SummerSlam where he beat Kane. And we have Rey Mysterio, who's just came back from injury, so it'll be good to see how he fares in this match. And then we have Cody Rhodes. He was beat last night by Damien Sandow at the SummerSlam event. I think he's now decided that the IC path is the way forward for him. Likewise for Christian after his fight with Alberto Del Rio. He didn't look very convincing in that match, so perhaps that belt was just a little bit out of his depth just now. And then of course we have Chris Jericho. Well, Chris Jericho could beat anybody on the roster, or he could be beat. It depends on how he is on that particular night. And to finish off the lineup we have RVD. RVD put in such a great showing last night at SummerSlam against the likes of Big Show in that hardcore 6-man Battle Royal match. Sorry, elimination match. But as I say, he'll be injured. He came in looking injured. And there's Bray Wyatt being thrown out by Rey Mysterio. That's Bray Wyatt's, well, I wouldn't say first defeat, but it's the first time that he's not won a match. So it'll be interesting to see if him or his family do anything to Rey Mysterio and later on in the show or in the coming weeks. But Rey Mysterio is definitely looking good coming back from his 12 months off on the sidelines. And coming back to a point I made earlier, there's RVD. He does look rather injured, but that's obviously coming back from that match from last night. It's only been 24 hours since that fight, and then when you're fighting with guitars, chairs, it's going to take its toll, so it'll be interesting to see how he does tonight. And again, Christian also looks hurt, but the fresh guys in this match, and that is Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio, are looking quite good. And there's Christian busted wide open. RVD Monday night, Mr. Monday Night. Oh, he's got a sore arm. Cody Rhodes, of course, used to have this title, and I think he would. Oh, there's RVD out the match. I think on any other given night he would have done a lot better in this match, but having the injury from last night, he didn't come into this match at 100%, and he's left with less than 100%. And there's Chris Jericho, busted wide open. Even although Christian looks worse for wear, he's still putting on a good show. As I say that, Rey Mysterio, oh, he didn't capitalise. He could have possibly have got him out there, but he didn't capitalise, guys. And now he's getting a beat down by Cody Rhodes. There's Cody Rhodes trying to get out Rey Mysterio. There's Christian. And he has now eliminated Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho must have been one of the favourites before this match because he was fresh. He wasn't competing last night. There's Rey Mysterio trying to get the crowd behind him. And there's Christian. Inadvertently helping out Rey Mysterio, and he gets a breather. Rey Mysterio now attacks Christian. Rey Mysterio feels it, but he does the line salt to Cody Rhodes. It's all good and all your moves, but you've got to get your opponent over the top rope. Cody Rhodes thrown into the corner. Rey Mysterio and Christian look worse for wear. And now it's a 2-on-1, Christian and Mysterio against Cody Rhodes. But you've got to remember, guys, it's every man for themselves. Christian trying to get out Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes hangs on. But Christian's back to work. He's trying to get him out. This double team of Christian and Rey Mysterio was definitely working. Both of them were worse for wear, and they decided to go against Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes has now been eliminated. He must have been the favourite when it was down to just the three of them, because he didn't have any obvious injuries. And there's Christian. Christian wins. Just shows you that you shouldn't that you shouldn't have partners in a battle royal, because they'll turn against you as soon as they can. There's Christian. He is now the #1 contender for the IC title. Just had news that we have to go backstage for an interview with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Well, sorry about that, guys. There seems to be some technical difficulties. The speech seems to be behind what we're seeing. Sorry, it seems to be in front of what we're seeing. And now it's the Brits versus the APA. Well, going back to Christian there, he will get his chance at the Night of Champions and he will be fighting Curtis Axel. Well, that is as long as Curtis Axel is still a champion, which I would reckon he would be. Getting back to this match, British Bulldog has got Bradshaw with a clothesline. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are going to call for their third member. I'm not surprised that they accepted the challenge, but I did have a suspicion that they would have done a handicap match, but they went for the third member according to them, so we'll see who they get and if that helps them, yes or no. British Bulldog has definitely got the upper hand over Bradshaw just now. Bradshaw with a DDT. British Bulldog needs the tag. British Bulldog used to be the was old European champion back in the early to mid 1990s, and he was part of the Hart Foundation later on with Owen Hart. Bradshaw went for the tag there and he decided, I think, I'm going to do some more punishment. British Bulldog and Bradshaw have a similar style in that they both just want to brawl. Now he's tagged in Farouk. What can Farouk do? Farouk going for the submission early on in this match, but the British Bulldog manages to get out of the submission by standing up and throwing him and Farouk on their backs. This match came about because the APA attacked William Regal in last week's Raw, so this match was made by Vince McMahon. It'll be interesting to see if they can get revenge on the APA. The Brits, of course, is one of the other stables in the WWE. They have had their feuds in the past with the family, but the family proved just too good for them. There's Wade Barrett from Manchester, England. He's got the submission on Farouk, but Farouk manages to get out of the hold by throwing Wade Barrett over his head. There's Wade using his bare knuckle fighting skills. He now has the upper hand over Farouk. As I say that, there's Farouk. He's got him in a headlock, and now Wade Barrett's got him in a headlock. Headbutt to the head. Earlier on tonight we had a fight with the Giants, and as I said, Bobby Heenan is their manager, and they also have a third member, and he is of course the Great Khali. They are definitely one of the stables to watch out for. There's the British Bulldog using his 20 years of experience. I have just been informed that if and when the match goes ahead later on with the Family versus CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, that Paul Heyman will not be at ringside. He has been instructed to stay out of the match and to be somewhere else, so I would imagine that he'll be in the back watching the match. Bradshaw thrown into the side steps here. Wade Barrett. Showing his skills again. This match hasn't been exciting, but it has definitely been a match where the Brits are trying to get revenge. They don't want to just win, they want to punish the APA. But to do that to the APA is quite a hard thing to do. The APA are definitely two hard sons of guns. There's Bradshaw trying to get the fans behind the APA. One count there for Farouk. There's Farouk now going for his finishing move. Bradshaw knocks Bradshaw off the apron. No, he didn't. 1, 2, 3. British Bulldog wasn't quite quick enough there to help his teammate and fellow Brit, Wade Barrett. And the APA get the victory. These are another team that could certainly fight for the World Tag Team Championships at Night of Champions. Here we have CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, so we'll see who the third member is. And here's Daniel Bryan. I wonder who they phoned. Daniel Bryan looks very calm and composed here. And who's the third member? It can't be. It is. It's a dead man. The dead man has not been seen since he got attacked by the Shield earlier on in the year. The dead man, of course, was CM Punk's opponent at WrestleMania, but I suppose if you want to take on the family, you've got to phone the best, and the dead man is the best. I had no idea that they had a telephone in Death Valley. But here we go, our main event: CM Punk, Daniel Bryan and The Undertaker versus the family, who are Curtis Axel, Ryback and Brock Lesnar. CM Punk wants to get his hands on Curtis Axel and Brock Lesnar. He'll take his frustrations out just now in Curtis Axel. I have been instructed that Paul Heyman is sitting in the locker room watching this on TV. He was seen earlier giving the family instructions on what to do and what CM Punk's tactics would be. Obviously he was his manager for the past 2 years. Daniel Bryan is giving a stare to Ryback. He feels that Ryback cost him his title last night, even though Randy Orton came out and cashed in the Money in the Bank. But of course it's Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton at Night of Champions, which should be a good match. It hasn't been said or confirmed yet, but I would imagine that John Cena might have something to say about those two fighting. It might even turn into a triple threat, because John Cena still has his rematch clause. So Daniel Bryan, I would imagine, would have the choice to either fight John Cena. No, in fact, they couldn't fight John Cena. So yeah, I would imagine that it would be a triple threat for the Night of Champions. Hasn't been confirmed yet, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's just, it would make sense. But again, all the decisions come down to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon does run the corporation here with an iron fist. It's not wise to get on the wrong side of him, because he'll just send out his henchmen. There's Ryback trying to knock Undertaker off the ring apron. Powerbomb to CM Punk. Ryback is just a machine. Definitely comes from the same mould as Brock Lesnar. It will be interesting to see if Paul Heyman can turn Ryback into Brock Lesnar too. Brock Lesnar was quoted saying earlier that he would like to go for the WWE Championship, but of course he's got John Cena and Daniel Bryan in front of him. But you just never know. When you've got the likes of Paul Heyman in your corner, anything could happen. There's Ryback inflicting punishment on CM Punk. Ryback, of course, didn't have a fight last night. He just interfered, so he's going to be the fresh man. CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. And straight away CM Punk tags in Daniel Bryan. He doesn't want any part of Brock Lesnar just now. Brock Lesnar has got the upper hand over Daniel Bryan just now. One, two, reversal, 1, 2, reversal, Brock Lesnar rope break. Well, that was definitely impressive. Daniel Bryan with the upper hand here. Brock Lesnar, absolute beast of a man. Hasn't been the same since he had that problem with his intestines, but he's still a beast. Now it's 4 and 4. Undertaker gets his hands on Brock Lesnar and Curtis Axel. Single-handedly, he's beating up the family. I wonder if Paul Heyman now regrets turning his back on CM Punk. It would have been it would have been a very powerful stable if it had been the family, including CM Punk. CM Punk could easily have got back his WWE Championship, and Brock Lesnar and Ryback as a tag team would just be phenomenal. Brock Lesnar going for the pin there, but he only gets a 1 count. Brock Lesnar again. And the double team there on Brock Lesnar by CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Undertaker still hasn't been tagged into this match. As I said earlier, perhaps they could have done this, well, they could have had this match just a 3 and 2. Because up until now, they are proving that they don't really need the Undertaker in the corner. But you never know. CM Punk suplex to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar throws CM Punk to the outside. That was a big move there. Undertaker again comes to help out Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And again he takes out Brock Lesnar. Ryback's been tagged in. The fresh man here. I think he needs to have a good showing to show Paul Heyman that he deserves his his position in the family. Paul Heyman gave him a chance. He's not had a good run as of late in the WWE, but obviously Paul Heyman seen quite a lot in Ryback. And there's Ryback inflicting more punishment on Daniel Bryan. I think he could have went for the pin, but he just wants to inflict punishment. I think this is to impress Paul Heyman. I wonder what Paul Heyman's thinking in the locker room. There's Taker just wanting the tag. A face of frustration. He just wants to come in. And he goes out to help Daniel Bryan. CM Punk throws Ryback back in. Ryback came out there for a breather, but obviously didn't see the dead man standing behind him. And Ryback hits Taker straight back out again off the apron. Taker will not be very happy with this. You can just see the anger in his face. Sensibly, Ryback takes CM Punk into his own corner and tags in Curtis Axel. One. I must say one thing about Paul Heyman, he's got all his guys working off the same page. And they're tagging each other in and out, so that they're not getting exhausted. And then when you see the team of CM Punk, Daniel Bryan and Undertaker, they're not really working as a team that's on the same page. CM Punk looks as though he's got damaged ribs. The only fresh man in their team is the Undertaker, and they haven't tagged him in yet. But as I say this, it's all 6 men. The referee has lost all control over this match. Undertaker now gets his hands on Ryback, but that gives Brock Lesnar a chance to get him from behind. CM Punk straight into the ring post. Brock Lesnar just causing so much damage to CM Punk. Now he kicks him in the head. Both men are laying out in the ring. There's Curtis Axel. Again he throws. CM Punk manages to reverse it. CM Punk going for the superplex. Can he get it? He does. He should really go. He should have went for the 3 count there, but he's tagged in Taker. The first time he's been in this match officially. There's Taker to the outside. He's taking the cover off the table, showing his frustrations. He wants to hurt someone. Back out again. Curtis Axel. What's he going to do here? Tombstone. Say good night, Curtis. Boss is wide open. But Taker doesn't want to win it that way. He wants to put him back into the ring, I think, so he can inflict more damage. and that gives Ryback a chance to get him from behind. But the damage has been done to Curtis. Busted wide open. He may have a concussion as well, and he tags out. Better to be safe than sorry. Live to fight another day. Ryback overpowering the dead man. And he throws Taker out. He tags in Brock. Taker back into the ring. And then Brock goes out. There's Taker, goes for the tombstone. But he's on the outside and he's busted Brock Lesnar wide open as well. But it was on the outside. You can't pin your opponent on the outside. It's got to be on the inside. Curtis Axel buys Brock Lesnar a bit of time, and that allows Brock Lesnar to get Undertaker, and he kicks him in the head. Taker misses with that move. Brock Lesnar holding his head. Undertaker with the elbow to the chest. Can he pin Brock? Only a 2 count. Undertaker with the backbreaker, going again for the count. Gets a 1 count this time. Brock Lesnar sensibly going for the tag. Now Daniel Bryan's in. Daniel Bryan and Curtis Axel have both been injured, but they both want to win. Daniel Bryan, what's he going for? Flies over the top rope with the splash. Daniel Bryan's feeling it. Has he missed his opportunity? Thrown out of the ring. So that the family can attack him, but the family thrown back in. Daniel Bryan can't see properly, I wouldn't think. He must be damaged. There he goes, busted himself wide open. He must be concussed because he thought the referee was Curtis Axel. Daniel Bryan throws Curtis Axel into the corner. Running drop kick. Daniel Bryan. 1, 2, 3. How fitting was that? Daniel Bryan got Curtis Axel with the perfect plex. Now it's down to 2. Brock Lesnar and Ryback. Paul Heyman must be raging. What can Ryback do? There's Daniel Bryan. There's chance in here. 1, 2. Taker saves them. There's chance in here of feed me more, feed me more. Ryback is just feeding off the crowd. Again he goes for the pin. And again Taker saves him. He got a 2 count there. If it hadn't been for Taker, I think it would have been a 3 count. CM Punk helps Daniel Bryan there. Daniel Bryan only had that title last night for 2 minutes, and then Ryback came in and attacked him, and Randy Orton was able to cash in his Money in the Bank. Brock Lesnar takes out CM Punk. This could be quite dangerous for Daniel Bryan. No, Ryback throws him into the steps and Daniel Bryan gets the reversal. And he repays Ryback by throwing him into the stairs. Daniel Bryan tags in CM Punk, going for the double team. Boot to Ryback's face. CM Punk feels it. 1. Only a 1 count. CM Punk's feeling it. 2 drop kicks. Neck breaker. Goes for the pin. Surely 1. Only a 1 count. What do you have to do to beat Ryback? CM Punk's face is just full of shock. Any average man would have been beaten after those barrage of moves. Daniel stays on the apron sensibly, getting a breather. Now Ryback's in the opposing corner. Wasn't very wise. And here's Taker. Taker puts him through the barrier. I did say that Ryback shouldn't have been wandering across there, going into enemy territory, especially when you've got the dead man over there who is still full of health, hasn't even broke sweat yet. Ryback sensibly gets back into the ring. Can CM Punk capitalise? Hurricanrana, Hurricanrana. Flying elbow from the top rope. 1, surely 2. No, only a 2 count. What do you have to do to this man? And there you go, he busts CM Punk wide open. Gets a hot tag to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar cleaning house. What can Brock do to CM Punk? One. Only a 1 count. CM Punk sensibly tags out, and he tags out to the dead man. I think Brock Lesnar went for the tag there, then he lost his way, lost his train of thought halfway over. Seems very dazed here. Now he gets the tag to Ryback. And see, and the dead man tags in Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan goes out for a breather. It was just a ruse, so the Undertaker would get Ryback. Now Daniel Bryan's has got the upper hand. Both men are fighting for contention here. One, two, three! Daniel Bryan pins Ryback. Now Brock Lesnar's got it all to do. Paul Heyman must be pulling out what hair he's got left. This is not what he had planned at the start of the night. Usually his plans always work out to exactly how he wants them, but not tonight. He did let Daniel Bryan and CM Punk call their third partner, and they chose to call the dead man. That has definitely swung in their favour. One, two. Oh, the dead man's... No, Daniel Bryan's out. The dead man couldn't save him that time. Can Brock Lesnar do this? The dead man's calling for it. He's calling for it. Tombstone. Surely it's over now. One, two, three. And the team of Punk, Taker and Daniel Bryan wins. Well, we'll need to tune in for next week, guys, to find out what's going to happen. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and a comment. Thanks.